First time on the show though, Matt. I always want anyone who's came on. Keep saying the show/channel/conference. First time anyone's ever been on. Real quick introduction, Matt. I know you were the fill-in for Hans, but he sent you your day also involved with Midgard. What's your quick introduction to the community before we get started?
Yeah, so I'm the step-in for Hans today from the Midgard team. So I'm one of 2 developers, like currently building the Midgard Explorer. So we're that's basically the quick introduction. So I've been in the space for like hiding in the shadows for since 2021, the last bull cycle basically. So that's like a quick
introduction. Awesome. Well, glad you could join. I know Midgard's been on fire recently too. We love all the community builders making stuff, especially when things that people want really bad in the community. You'll get started. I got one. Yeah, you all get started. There's one other person. I gotta get Queen Wiki in here. 1 second. But you all get started. I'll bring her in just a second.
Hello. How are we today?
Yeah, good. Thanks for asking. I'm really happy to be here, actually. I think the only person that I've spoken to before really in any detail was Briss. So how is everybody doing?
Doing great. Like, it's really good news today from Richard Hart with the SEC case and everything. So it's it's optimistic going forward.
It is optimistic. 60 more days, right? 60 more days. This is the waiting period now to see if they're going to appeal. But ultimately, I don't think that they will. I mean, I don't really think that there's much more they can throw at them at this stage. Do you?
No, doesn't seem like it. Like, seems like they totally retaliated. Like, it's like they pulled back all the resources from the case, basically.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. Sorry, my mic got switched again. I don't know what happened. Freaking StreamYard. Did you guys hear that the coast is clear? Did you guys see that tweet from RH?
Yes.
So, Judge Carroll, she made her final judgment. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, it's exciting times. I mean, hopefully, I'd touch wood and everything. Hopefully, we'll start to see some positive impact in the markets because of this news now. I mean, it's been, well, kind of red for a while. I still think the PulseChain is kind of in its own bear market, right? We need ETH to move. We need ETH to move, and then everything else hopefully will start to move too.
I think so.
Hey, it just makes an extra fun time for onboarding.
That's it, exactly. And build, right? Just keep on building. Anyone out there that's building, just keep on building. Build in the bear and market in the bull. It's a little team philosophy, and it seems to work. So, Whitney, I don't know much.
When Hex on PulseChain is like $5-10, I don't want to hear anybody saying that they never bought or they couldn't get a good deal or it's too expensive. Everyone had an opportunity.
I'm going to introduce myself a little. Today I've been most excited that I am celebrating 1 year of my community. So Queen of Millions, my community, my mission has been onboarding as many women into crypto and with financial literacy and that whole 9 yards and feeling excited about their future. So today we have 205 ladies in the community. A lot of them are pretty heavy PulseChain investors and are understanding and like catching them up to speed around liquidity and how price moves so exponentially. They're feeling really excited about a lot of things. And so that's been my big thing is today we're celebrating my 1 year anniversary of the community.
Fantastic. Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, Whitney's been putting in a ton of work. I've been seeing your posts and seminars and the things you've been putting out. So I really appreciate you out there putting in the work in person, onboarding. I mean, like, you've been doing a lot of great stuff. So really appreciate you for that.
Thank you. Yeah, I also hosted a ton of events here in Austin for women talking about the relationship to money and the whole 9 yards. It's been a really fun movement.
If you're in Austin,
fantastic.
Check out Whitney's seminars and all that. Real quick, yeah, apologies, Queen Wiki. You were the last person I sent the link to. I was like, oh, I think I got everyone. Everyone's good, and then because I'm sending individually too, there's no like list, and then you were the last one. So apologies for getting you in late. Could you, since first time on the channel too, quick introduction? Could you give us tell us a little bit how you found the ecosystem?
2020, I found the ecosystem and I started staking Hex. I knew absolutely nothing about it, and when I did, I kicked myself that I didn't get in earlier. And I'm just the local community troll in Twitter.
Riz got competition.
Trying to get people to empower thyself, and stop depending upon Richard to do everything. And it's time for us to get out there as a community and share what we know instead of just waiting for our bags to pump. And so it's getting to the point now, I've decided that I'm no longer going to do that because people won't listen and they're going to continue to depend upon him. One of my phrases is, get off Richard's titty, You guys should be winning by now.
Okay.
But I really like what we have here. And I believe that people need to learn that patience, Warren Buffett will tell you, and many other high power investors will tell you, this is not an overnight thing. If you guys want to come in and make a whole lot of money overnight, obviously you haven't, and it just doesn't work that way. And so our job right now is simply to see us just get out there and work, and then things will indeed be great. And I know from the bottom of my heart, I tell people I don't listen to everything Richard Hart says, because to me, he's not God. And I think that is the problem that we have in the community to a certain extent. I've learned a lot from him, but I also believe that we need to just do the work. He's not going to let it fail. I can tell you that because he's got a huge ego, and I know people with huge egos, and he's looking for his glory, regardless of when it's going to come. But he's not going to take any funds and throw it into this box so you can Jeep out, and then you'll be back where we started. That's not happening. But I can go on and on and on, but I'm done. That's where I started.
That's a great way to put it too. And I just want to hit that. Just want to re-emphasize the point too of everyone who's like, oh, he's gonna leave, he's running away, he's gonna disappear, he's in it for glory. I don't think if we're gonna be like, all right, Richard's gonna get glory, he's not. I don't. That doesn't add up to doing a Satoshi to me. That doesn't add up to like, all right, you guys are good. I'll just speak to you through the blockchain. You'll never see me again. That again, it could happen, but that doesn't add up to me on that fake. So anyone's who worried about him coming back or streaming or us ever seeing him again. Again, I don't know how that's going to come, when or where, and all that stuff is when ready. But I don't know. That gives me a little bit of hope of like, yeah, the dude's not. He's in it for a reason. He's in it to we talked about longevity. He's in it for all these different things. But also, we don't work for him. He doesn't work for us. It's a very great, freeing, self-sovereign ecosystem, permissionless. We can do whatever we want. So hopefully we're doing healthy trolling. Hopefully we're doing healthy activities, building, trying to lift people up instead of the other way around. And yeah, Queen Wiki, I love a lot of what you said there, and glad to have you in the community. It's fun, and on the panel too.
I totally agree with Queen Wiki about Richard. RH Max on the last segment asked me why I liked ink. And I said, because the logo's green. It was more of a joke reason. But the truth is, the reason why I like ink is that I'm actually not betting on ink. I'm betting on Richard. And I think Richard's going to, help it succeed.
Yeah, I think so too. And I mean, while we have all this downtime, if you like, it's a perfect time to just keep building. By the time the masses come here, we have to make sure that they have really cool stuff to do over here, or else they'll just leave again. We have plenty of time. Anyone that says we don't, I still think we have plenty of time, because if we want people to stay, we need all the cool stuff. And I say this on a lot of my own streams as well, is that it doesn't matter if you have an idea for a protocol that you think PulseChain needs, please speak to someone about doing it. You'll find out very quickly from the community if it's a bad idea. They will let you know almost immediately. But you just have to try. We'll see a bunch of failures, but we will see a lot of success. I really believe it. And I was talking with Crypto Coffee yesterday, and I was saying that by the time people come here, it's just a matter of when. They're definitely coming. They're on the way. And, you know, you guys are doing some amazing outreach out there. You know, we're building a few different protocols on PulseChain, some infrastructure stuff, but also some, you know, some fun stuff. But also as part of that, we're starting to really think about bringing our protocols multi-chain, so that we can garner attention from other chains and really have them bridge over into PulseChain, because we're all hexagons at heart. You know, we want it to succeed, and the only way we're going to really succeed is by having all the cool stuff here, so people don't leave again.
I found that when people can find that all this stuff to be really fun, like we've all seen it, is when people have the most fun, that brings the most amount of eyeballs. And I think the same thing happened with Solana, when they had their tipping effect, is like everyone just had so much fun within memes.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that right now we do have enough, like there's enough innovative conversations around how we can leverage different liquidity providing, and like the printers for me personally have been really fun to be able to play with and understand more of that side of things, and have like PulseX being dripped into my wallet for holding certain things. That's just one example where they're like all of you developers like out there, like keep on pushing the edges so that we can keep on bringing some of those fun ways to PulseChain, so that, like, I know the ladies in my world, once they see this and they're like, oh, this is the downtime. This is the time where we want to accumulate more of the assets that we want to hold, PulseX being one of my favorites. And so I find that the more tinkering and the more coming together and unification we can have in this timeline, we can also bring more of that activity and innovation to PulseChain, where people are like, yo, those people, they've been building, they've been having fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I have to say as well, Matt, I mean, really thanks very much for Block Explorer. People have been crying, and now we have Midgard. I've actually been speaking to Hans as well. I think I'm going to have Hans on my channel at some stage soon. I mean, I absolutely commend anyone out there that takes on pretty big challenges, right? You know, no one said this is going to be easy. They really didn't. And I think we're finding out, you know, people that have been around for a while, we know that that some things are easier than others. And you know, onboarding is a massively difficult tool. And I think we're starting to have a lot of fun trying to get it working. You know, am I wrong? It's like, it's good fun being here. Look at what's happening.
It is. It's
also,
really fun.
Matt,
Like
real quick, I just want to say thank you for the Block Explorer. I had the conspiracy theory that Richard didn't want a Block Explorer until all the SEC stuff was taken care of, because the harder it was for them to look into stuff, the better. So I figured we'd get a Block Explorer after the case was done, and now we got Midgard. That's awesome. Yep. Thank you.
You know, what's interesting is I've seen 3 developers that are coming out with Block Explorer suddenly. And so we got 3, you know, I posted them. I said, hey guys, you've been asking for Block Explorers. I've been asking for it. And now we have 3. And so a lot of people don't see what's going on, what the developers are actually creating. And if you look at 0x Coast, for example, and the work that they're doing, and you look at in terms of, I know Richard doesn't like this, but fiat on-ramp, right? Banking and all of that. So many things are going on, but people don't see it because they live in Twitter. They live in Twitter. They don't contribute much to anything. And this is not all of us, but there's this group of folks, you know, and sometimes we all hone in just on this one piece of thing that we're really, truly interested in. But I tend to go, I tell you what, that PDI thing, I've learned a lot from it. What I learned, what is MakerDAO? How does it work? What is pegging? I started writing a little code. Don't ask me to code. I hate coding. That was back in my past. And I'm like, this is totally cool. But then when you see like 5 different narratives every week about what this thing is about, I'm like, so yeah, right, sure. You know, I'm going to stick with PLFX. I'm going to stick with PLSX. I'm going to stick with those guys. And if you come out with a meme coin and I get in early enough, I'm going to get in and get out. And that is that's my whole thing. But all of these crazy narratives, and more power to them, because regardless of the narrative, and we have to recognize is that if you've got a narrative and you've got a big community around it, it's going to get traction. It's going to get traction. And one of the things that we had was, I tell people, no downtime ever, 100% uptime I said, that's not a narrative. Okay, we're cheaper, we're faster, we're better. That's not a narrative, because now Ethereum, you know, it's kind of being cheap now, and they're doing some great things over there. I've been watching them. And when you look at it, I say, well, what do we have? And then when the Hex stakes, when, you know, RH went in and did what he did, now the outputs aren't as much. So we're saying, now what is our narrative? And so we're going to have to come up with some really great ideas, some really good things. I believe on its own is solid, but most people on this planet don't care about technology. They win Lambo, win green, and I go around telling people, I says, don't you want to buy when it's red? And I keep pushing that in, and I thought about it. No, they don't. People buy green. People buy green. It doesn't make any sense, but that's what they do. So we've got to come up, like Whitney was saying, some fun things. We got to come up with some fun, engaging things, because we got too many maxis, all of these different camps. You know, I tell you, it's crazy out there, but we find that in other chains as well. We find that in other communities. I don't know if you guys remember the Bitcoin small blocks versus large blocks, the fights that were going on. They used to have these events in Acapulco where some people died, some people shot one another. It was just a mess. There are all kinds of things going on in crypto. I've been there since 2015. There are all kinds of crazy things, a lot of fights. And we got the same thing here. So that's really nothing new. It's really nothing new, but I think we're getting there. I think we're getting closer. We need some fun things. We do.
You're really an OG, Queen Wiki. You've been here since 2016. That's awesome.
2016, Bitcoin, all kinds of stuff, Ponzi, my encounters with the SEC, 5-year case. I've been through a lot of things with them, man. They're crooks. I've been through a lot of things with the SEC, and I refuse for them to tackle me. And, you know, another thing I talk about, I was at the Las Vegas event we just had with RG, Captain RG, and all the other wonderful people out there, and AJ Wiles, she was there. I got the opportunity to meet her in person, a lot of guys. And one of the things I tell my story, and I think this happened to more people than not, particularly the ones who've been around for a while, they just don't talk about it. But I kept saying, get a hardware wallet, get a hardware wallet. Oh, get a hardware wallet. And all of a sudden, about $600,000 of my crypto disappeared into outer space. You know, and I was upset for about 4.5 minutes because I don't like to dwell on things I have no control over. I said, now what do? I had to start over. Hex, PLS, PLSX, you know, went back in. And the next day, my hardware wallet came in the mail. Hallelujah. But, you know, I'm here for good. I don't care what nobody's talking about.
Matt, so I'd love to hear from you. The everyone in the comment section is chanting your name. Let's hear what's up.
Well, yeah, like Queen Wiki said here, we need to build some fun stuff on this chain. Block Explorer is not really that much fun. It's more like we need it badly, like on this chain, because we've had like Scandot or the PulseChain, the Block Scout fork, basically, or the Block Scout Block Explorer now for the last 2 years, and it's not been working as we all expected it to work. And in the start, I know a lot of people were like thinking, okay, it's just the start. It's going to get better over time. It's probably some indexing errors and stuff, but it's never really gotten any better. So we figure out like, around February or a little bit earlier than that, we wonder if we could build our own Block Explorer for just our own use, because we are a team of 5. So we're like, okay, can we use something to explore these blocks faster or these transactions faster? Because if you go on Block Scout now, it's like 50% chance you get like an error or something like that if you like try to look up a transaction. So we figured it out that we would try, and in about 2 weeks, Hans had made an MVP, like a simple design that kind of worked using just RPC data, so like data directly from the blockchain. Kind of like if you have any of you used like Autoscan. So that's Autoscan is like a full RPC. It's a full RPC block explorer. Those are really fast, but you don't get like a lot of data like holders or the transactions if you can't like search up an address and see all the transactions of that user, because that stuff isn't stored on the blockchain. You need to index that and store that on a database. So that's what we've been doing the last couple of months, trying to make some, what should I say, like simple blockchain indexer. And yeah, so currently we have like a already pretty good block explorer. Of course, missing some data, but we're also like currently indexing a pretty big index as well, with a lot of data that could potentially push us to something, hopefully at least something in the Etherscan type of quality of when it comes to data. And also we also seen that that this is kind of general on PulseChain itself, but there's a big lack of good UX design in crypto in general. Like we see there's a lot of websites and apps being built, but there's not, what should I say, there's not a lot of good UX out there. So for people with disabilities and stuff, we have some people contacted us already.
It kind of seems like one design got created and then just everyone kind of copied the same UX, like the Uniswap.
Yeah.
Like every pulse or every swap looks like Uniswap, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's because like Uniswap is the most popular, right? So then like the natural instinct would be like, okay, let's build something that looks exactly like the popular thing, even though that doesn't necessarily always make sense from a UX perspective. Like if there's, but that's especially with Midgard, that's something we're like trying really hard to get going, or to do, have good UX so everyone can use it, because everyone should be able to use blockchain technology.
When it comes to the maturity of our chain, so as we're like going through all these topics and things, I do like to even have this be like a selling point for people who are coming into crypto and they're like looking for these opportunities, because so often, like a lot of onboarding conversations I have is people are like, I missed Bitcoin, like isn't Bitcoin too expensive? And I'm like, yeah, and if we want strategies to help amplify your growth so that you can accumulate more Bitcoin in the future, we have to lean into things that are younger and like are lower down on the adoption curve. And so if anyone Googles like adoption curve, I think that this is a really helpful visual for people to remind them of like, hey, yes, we're getting involved when you're maybe an early adopter or you're an innovator and we're like building things, and there's going to be a lot more drama at certain times. And that's why we're signing up for this, is because there's so much exponentiality of growth that can happen, which we all know. But I think when we can speak in terms of like percentage growth and possibilities for people of breaking down, like, are you looking for just that like 50 to 70 to 100% growth over the next few months with something more consistent and stable like Bitcoin, or are you looking for that exponential growth? And when we get to break things down and map it out through just how much we're building as a community and how solid that social fabric is and how that's needed in crypto, that those little pieces are conversation elements that can really help people understand like there is maturity here, and social networks take time to build, and building innovation, all the little things that we're talking about here, we get to hit that tipping point faster. And so they get to hop on the journey. So just want to break that down for if anyone is wanting to have more like onboarding conversations, just letting someone know that they're getting in earlier on the adoption curve is a really big selling point. Yeah.
I like the whole
absolutely
passive income aspect, you know. Everybody is looking for passive income. How do I make money while I'm sleeping? And you know, Hex is great because you can stake it and earn a little percentage now. Not as much as you used to, but you know, you get a little bit. But if we go back to the last segment, Ink, I think that's a great passive income, and you're not locked in like you are with Hex, which could be good or could be bad. You know, if you emotionally sell at a $1 Ink, you might miss the $4,000 Ink.
No, that's right. And I think when you talk about passive income, I mean, there's lots of different ways out there. There's a lot of, I think when the real masses start to come here, like the learning curve is going to be quite difficult on a lot of different projects, you know, a lot of different protocols. But that's good because we need the stuff for the more mature investor, if you want to call them that way. You know, people that really know their stuff. They come, you know, they might come here with massive whale bags from somewhere else, and they're looking for somewhere to park their money to earn themselves some sort of yield. And we're also going to have the new people, maybe people that aren't so into crypto in general at the start. You know, they might just see some fancy marketing somewhere. You know, that's one of the reasons why we built the Pulse Mafia game, right? So it's basically a metaverse on PulseChain, first of its kind, and it's a literal game where people can just, you know, you play and you can earn by doing different tasks within the game. I know, Briss, we were talking about it before. We're going to have a lot of those people, hopefully, if Mafia does what it's supposed to do. We're going to have a lot of new people that are gamers first, crypto people maybe second. So by the time they get here, they need to have all of these places around where they can actually really learn exactly what it's all about. What is PulseChain about, and how can I put whatever skills or hobbies I have to some use? You know, so that's why we took over the gaming part. Then on top of that, I mean, we obviously, one of the other biggest industries in, well, the world really is gambling. So we've made the first truly decentralized crypto casino on chain, PulsePot. That's here. That's going through a whole rebranding protocol. And we're actually going to take that out to 6 different blockchains initially to try and garner all that attention and bring it back here. Like, we need all of these things. I commend every job that everyone is doing, whatever little you're doing or whatever massive thing you're doing. I mean, I commend you all. It's fantastic. We need 1,000 more of each one of us, you know.
For sure.
100%.
And we'll get it, you know.
We definitely will. And I think when there's so many different strategies that we all have, I found that most people, it's not necessarily understanding the upside, but instead more so as people spend more time in the space. Same thing with my ladies. They've reflected where it's like, the more layers they can see, they can understand really the risks and the cons and how fast things change to understand where the opportunities are. So a lot of people going forward, yes, we want free money now, but they also understand that this industry is constantly evolving, and the more strategies we can tune ourselves up to, the faster you can jump out of things that are scammy or that have flaws, and then you can go attract and move fast to those opportunities. And so I think for people seeing it as like, how do we spend more time with our family or spend more time doing the things that we love? It's just learning to train our brain to spot the cons, the falls, and then be able to move to the upsides.
Well, I think that sometimes we need to target a different market. What I find is the guys and gals who've been in typical traditional investments like stocks and bonds, and they're much more patient than cryptocurrency people. And you basically say, hey, here's what we've got. You already know what risks are in investments. Okay, here we can get in on the ground floor. You know, you put your money in here and we're just going to hope for the best. But I don't send them to Twitter. I don't send them online. You know, we talk. We talk a lot about what's going on in terms of the economy and things of the sort. I think that one of the things that's bringing a lot of folks to cryptocurrency is Bitcoin and where Bitcoin is going. Now, what I find rather interesting, and I've called a lot of the guys, the OGs, is at first you guys said this was the currency for the people, and now all you guys are on your hands and knees. Please, 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 ETF. Please, 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 Trump. Please, 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 financial institutions. I mean, we've come a long way. We've come a long. Like, are you kidding me? But on the other hand, they're seeing more about crypto. You got your Trump token, right? Don't ask me my opinion of it, but you got all of these things that are coming out, which is giving the common people exposure to this thing called cryptocurrency, right? It does indeed legitimizes it. I don't think it legitimizes it, but in eyes of the people, it legitimizes it because it was always a scam. Bitcoin's a scam, crypto's a scam, blah, blah, this. So now we're legitimizing it, and now we can tap into those markets as well. I remember seeing some folks who actually purchased the Trump token, and I was reading their comments, so Solana was crashing. And so I'm reading the comments, okay, I finally bought, now what do I do? And so they actually bought because of the push behind it, because they're pro-Trump. They had a reason. You've got this community out there. So I'm telling you, I'm talking to some of those guys too. So I go on and I teach people, here's how we're going to onboard. And I think that the more onboarding tools that we have to simplify this, be it for the guys who don't have a lot of money, let's say $100, $300, they can go to changenow.io. And it's easy, straight from your bank, straight from your card. For those of you who want more, then you go to 0x Coast. And there's some other ones, not only Zero, so you look at internetmoney.io, right there in the wallet, you can purchase. Yes, you have to do KYC. It's not my cup of tea, but that's everybody else's cup of tea. So we have to go where they are and onboard them and bring them on, because they're going to be missing the boat. I'm telling you, I don't care if it's another 5 years. I don't care. I just know we're going to blow up and we're going to do very, very, very well.
100%.
Yeah.
This is my belief.
I don't care if we have to wait until the 2028 Bitcoin cycle. I'm here. Can't get rid of me, guys.
That's it. Quattro Cinco. I'm Quattro Cinco all the way. I got a lot of time.
I'm 65 years old. I'm not waiting 20 years. No.
You may say 5.
No. It's for you, not for me, youngster.
No, I hear you. I mean, that is the cool thing about the community. There's people, in different age groups, different goals. I mean, there's some people who are 21 are like, no, I'm here for 2 years, and I better make it then, or I'm going to get out. And I've heard people in their 60s and 70s be like, I'm staked out 15 years, and I'm like, that's everyone's got their own plan, but it's amazing. You can choose. That's the thing about Hex. I've did streams on this before. It allows you to choose your own adventure. If you want to stake short, you want to stake long, different incentives, different games to play. It's really cool to hear how other people use it.
I don't think it's that bad to be an older person and to stake out 15 years, as long as it's in a ladder. You got some coming out maybe every year. I think that could be reasonable, but I totally get you, Queen Wiki. And I'm really glad that you're here at the conference with us. I haven't seen you be on any streams before, so I think it's great that you're here with us.
Thank you very much. This is like my first stream I've actually gotten on too, and I keep saying maybe I should do my YouTube.
That's awesome.
Do my YouTube, but I'm kind of like, nah. I'll just join in with what you guys.
There's been a few.
You've been around for a long time, RH Max. You've been around for a long time. I've been following you for a long time. I've been following Crypto Coffee for a long time. I like his educational approach, his little shorts that he has. There are others that I've been around, and I tell you, some of them have come, some of them have gone. But I know who the tried and true are.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I think I haven't been around as long as many others, at least with the channel and stuff. But I've been around long enough to have some consistency and again, no obligations. No expectations. I could go off any moment and never stream again. But at this time, I think there's some cool stuff to do. So I might hang around for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's always amazing to see new people who've never been on stream. Like when they come on the show, I'm like, yes, this is awesome. Like this is the community engagement that I'm looking for. It's great.
Yeah.
Real quick before we wrap up the panel though, too, we had some. I mentioned before we had some donations of media and coins and stuff too. But on the media side, I think it's Amos. I think his name's Amos Hetop, something like that. He did a PulseChain song. I just want to play maybe just a minute or two of it. We can listen to it as we head out here. And yeah, it's always great to see all the talented people in our community making music, making songs. We had Corey, an investor, on yesterday. Every time, there's a conference I hear, I'm a Hexacan, I'm like, oh, God, I love that so much. Yeah, it's so cool. So we'll listen to this jam just for a couple minutes and then we'll conclude.
PulseChain. It's a win-win-win for everybody. PulseChain is a new road.
Prepare yourself for what's about to come because it's going to be beautiful.
You guys may not realize this, but we're actually building a future. PulseChain, beautiful, but we're actually building a future. You guys may not realize this, but we're actually building a future. PulseChain is a new road. We're actually building a future. There's a lot of people right now, they're going to be wildly wealthy, wildly happy, wildly fulfilled. In about a year and a half, they just don't realize it yet. Because we built something that's unstoppable.
It's going to be beautiful.
Because we built something that's unstoppable. PulseChain. Because we built something that's unstoppable. Because we built something that's unstoppable. PulseChain. Because we built something that's unstoppable. These things will go on forever. Because we built something that's unstoppable. These things will go on forever, whether I live or die. PulseChain. It's a win-win-win for everybody. You guys may not realize this, but we're actually building a future.
Wow, that is pretty cool. I kind of want to hope that maybe we can do music
That's
videos
really great.
sometime. That's new music. People going out of their way, putting their talents to work, using the tools at their disposal to go create media and help spread the word of what they like about this ecosystem. So,
You know what that music sounded like? I think it's called like motivation wave, where they kind of put music to people talking. I've seen it done with like a Jocko Willenick, and
okay.
I like that stuff. It's pretty cool.
Shout out to Jocko. Seems like a strong, ambitious person. Come on the show sometime if you like.
Come on, Jocko.
I'll send you a link. I'll send you a link. It'll
DM me. We'll send you a link.
You think you've been here? You got 15 more years. Yeah, it'll be great. It's not a quick Jocko impression.